Howdy folks, George Shively, South Shore Marine Electronics with you here on a 1999 50 SeaRay, 500 SeaRay Dancer. Just kind of showing you here what the helm looks like before we get going. Not going to be doing much in the way of modifications where the D-deck displays are up top there and the Raymarine autopilot there to the left. But we're going to do some reconfiguring here on the left side panels where the two E80s are. We're going to get rid of those and probably be working on the stereo system as well because it's got some issues. So we're going to try to figure out what's going on with that and deal with that. The VHF radio down to the right side there, that will be replaced as that's a little bit long in the tooth. We'll take a little walk around here. We'll show you what the arch looks like now, and then of course when it's done, of course we've got the Raymarine 4-foot open array broadcast TV antenna. That will be coming off because we're going to be putting satellite TV on the boat, and of course the little GPS antenna for the E80 system. So just kind of want to give you a once over here as far as how things look at this point, and of course we'll come back and show you what things look like as we're making our way around. Stay tuned. Hi folks, George Shively back with you here. I just want to show you a quick look inside the helm here. We've removed the two E80 displays. I want to just kind of show you inside the helm here what we're working with here. It is just an absolute maze of wiring. It is kind of really ugly. If we jump down here, I mean there's just wires just everywhere, nothing labeled. It's just a real absolute mess. So a lot of times we run into this and it takes a little bit more time to sort things out, but it will be done and done correctly. But just wanted to kind of show you the helm can many times look beautiful, but if you look beyond the helm, things can get pretty ugly pretty quickly. So okay, back soon. Something we've come across inside the helm here, you'll see it that capacitor, which is for the stereo system, is up pretty much. If I zoom back here, you'll kind of see where it is in relation to the helm. It's kind of behind the upper display, but if you notice here, what they did was this right down here is styrofoam, because this whole thing is moving because they put the way it was mounted, and what they did was they tried to firm it up with a piece of styrofoam in the back. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before, but and you'll also notice too, they mounted the amplifier incorrectly here. The amp is mounted at the top, but they couldn't mount it down below, so what they did was they just stuck it in a piece of styrofoam, and that's how it's kind of being wedged in places with this piece of styrofoam that you see right down here at the bottom that I'm touching with the light. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. So just thought I'd show you. Many times when you open up a helm, it's just a disaster. So we'll be back soon. George Shively with you back here at the 50 SeaRay, 1999 50 SeaRay project. Just want to show you something. That capacitor, which many people use before the power input to an amplifier just to give it a little bit more power punch from a voltage and current standpoint, that was connected down here underneath where the VHF radio is located to a probably 10 gauge, maybe 8 gauge wire, and you can see from an indication here that's pretty thick wire. This was fused with a 100 amp fuse, and the ground side of this right here was tied into the boat's bonding system. That's a no-no. So just kind of wanted to step in with you here for a little bit and show you where we're at for the moment. There's kind of wire everywhere. So I think the thing that makes the most sense here at this point is to completely remove the stereo, and because it's put in incorrectly, and start fresh. We'll be back. Hi folks, George Shively back with you here on the 1999 500 SeaRay. I wanted to show you what the inside of the helm looks like now. Now that we've kind of got things cleaned out a little bit, we've taken the old stereo out, which was located right in that hole right there, and the associated wiring with it. We've left the amp that's there because I believe we're going to reuse that. But the amp that was located in this area, along with the power capacitor up there, is gone. That just wasn't right. Wasn't installed right, powered right. Very little about it right. We've also gone ahead and moved the fuse panel for the electronics down to this area, which is going to be right behind where the lower 8200 display is. Yes, you'll need a screwdriver to get to it, but you'll also need a screwdriver to get to it where it used to be, behind this breaker panel for the 24 volt DC circuits. So we have cleaned out down in this area, which is just to the starboard floor of the captain's seat. Got that cleaned up. And as I said, this area inside the helm is now reasonable. Wires are tied up, and this is kind of what you'd expect to see when you open the helm, just nice and neat. Obviously when we put more wiring in here, there's going to be more wiring, but it will be neat and clean. So that's where we're at right now. We've got the battery charger on. We've gone ahead and cleaned off the top of the arch. As you can see, the TV antenna that was on the port side is gone. Radar that was in the center is gone, and the GPS antenna that was on the starboard side is gone. Top of the arch is cleaned off, getting ready to put new gear on top of there. There will be a 4-foot open array Garmin in the center, and then up on top of that will be a KVH M1 for satellite TV. So we're making headway. It's looking good. We've taken out the port D-deck display. The bezel on that's cracked, so we're going to replace that. And other than that, we're making good headway. So stay with us here, and we'll see how things turn out. George Shively back with you here on the 99 500 SeaRay. I wanted to take a moment and show you something here real quick. This is the transducer that was previously installed that connected to the DSM 300. As you can tell, or maybe you can't, but that is a through-hull nylon transducer, and they have just glued that inside the hull. Needless to say, when I conferred with the owner, the depth didn't work very well at all. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't, which is, usually definitely an issue associated with a in-hull transducer, but certainly with a through-hull that's being used as an in-hull. So the other thing too, which is interesting, is they could have very simply taken out the old through-hull, which is right next to it, and put that one in, but maybe the boat was in the water and they didn't want to have the expense of a haul-out fee. But anyway, just showing you how wrong things can be done. And this was attached to a DSM 300. That's several $100s in a black box sounder that was never going to work right, simply because the installation was done incorrectly. So just moving along here, thought we'd show that to you. Thank you. Stay tuned. Howdy folks, George Shively back with you here in the engine room of the 500 Dancer. Wanted to show you what we did here. I brought some attention earlier to the fact that the transducer was installed really incorrectly. New transducer is in place. You can see where the ring was, that yellow ring of silicone, which is what was holding in the old transducer. We'll try to get a knife in there and get that out of there. But the new transducer is actually located where the original transducer was, and is designed to go on this boat. So we took out the old transducer, made the hole just a tad bit bigger, and put the new one in, and we're using a tilted element transducer to compensate for the dead rise angle of the hull. This particular transducer will accommodate up to a 15-degree dead rise, so which is what we have here on the SeaRay. So anyway, just kind of wanted to show you how we did this, how we got rid of the incorrect transducer installation there. And again, it was really unfortunate because that was tied into a fairly expensive black box sonar and was never going to work correctly. So these are the little innuendos, if you will, to really either make a system work properly or not at all, and in this case it wasn't working well at all. So anyway, just want to show you that. We've got our wire run up through front of the starboard engine and over, so we'll be back. Thank you. Howdy folks, George Shively back with you here. Just want to kind of give you a little shot inside the helm here to show you what we've been working on here. Just a lot of infrastructure work here. As you can see, a lot of wiring, but the wiring is neat. This wiring right here is loose because this is going to be attached to the one display, so we need to be able to have that come out a little bit. So this wiring is loose for that purpose. But if you'll notice everything else in there, it's pretty well organized, wire tied. Everything's kind of following a specific route. You'll also notice here that there are little tags on all of the power feeds indicating what's what, so that we know. The old indications there on the SeaRay panel have been marked out, so there's no confusion. The autopilot has been integrated via NEMO 183 to the new Garmin 8200 system. We've started putting in the NEMA backbone, which is NEMA 2000 backbone, which is how we're integrating a lot of the devices together, and those things are labeled too, as we've, I think, alluded to before. So that's kind of what we've been working on today. Got the transducer in today for the depth. I got the new chart reader, or the reader card reader rather, installed on the helm, and cut out the openings here for the new displays, which are going to go up and down. So that's what we've been doing today, and we'll be back soon. Howdy folks, George Shively back with you here on the 50 SeaRay. Just kind of want to show you what we've done thus far. We've got the new mount up on top of the arch, and the radar is mounted and wired in. We're presently working on the satellite dome, which is above that on a post. We've got to get some hardware there, and then of course in the back there you'll see that stainless steel mount that is for the light bar, which will then go above the satellite dome. So that's what we've been working on here today. It's turning out looking really nice. There's not going to be anything else on top of the arch, no GPS antennas or TV antennas, so it's going to be a really clean installation. You're going to have your 8-foot VHF on the starboard side, your radar, your satellite TV antenna, and then an 8-foot AM/FM on the port side. So symmetrically it'll look real sharp, and aesthetically it'll look real nice too. You won't have an arch, it's all boogered up with stuff. So just kind of wanted to stop by and show you what we're doing. Thank you. Howdy folks, George Shively with you. Down here in the galley, I wanted to show you a little project we're doing here. It's kind of a nothing little project, but it takes some time. In the galley here on the 99-500, there were these fluorescent fixtures that were underneath the where the microwave and coffee maker go, but they really didn't put out very much light. So what we're doing is we're changing those to LED fixtures, as you can see here. They put out a lot more light. You don't have to worry about changing bulbs. They're good quality, so they'll last for quite some time. But in order to do that properly and hide the wires to the best of your ability, you've got to be able to number one, remove the microwave, which for the time being is setting over there, as well as the coffee maker, to be able to get behind so that you can pull the existing wiring out to make the hole a little bit bigger, so that the wire loom, as you can see here, can go through, and it just kind of looks like it's been that way from the get-go. So just kind of showing you this little side project that the owner wanted to have done to make this area a little bit brighter, so that when someone's standing here at the kitchen, or the galley rather, you've got some decent light here on the sink area. So I'll be back soon. Detail I wanted to show you here, folks. I'm in the process of wiring up this under counter light here. That's going to go underneath the cabinet here. I wanted to show you something here. If you look at the connectors that I'm using here, these butt connectors, they are the type that you not only crimp and get a mechanical bite on the wire, but then you also go ahead and heat shrink them. That really provides an additional measure of longevity to the connection, seals out moisture, and really it's highly unlikely that that type of butt connect will ever fail. Many times you'll see I don't know if I can see it inside the cabinet here, and there's nothing I can show you right now, but a lot of times installers will use the butt connect types and just crimps in general that are not heat shrinkable. And that's, you know, particularly in an area that's back inside of a cabinet or behind, it can end up with an intermittent that is very difficult to find. And then, you know, it's just a real nightmare. So I always like to use these kind of connectors. They cost a little bit more. They take a few extra seconds to put on. Yes, time does add up, but when you're done, the job will last for a long time, and you don't have any issues with, you know, things that are intermittently working and not working. Howdy folks, George Shively back with you here. In the guest head here on the 500 SeaRay Dancer. I just want to show you kind of what we're doing here. The owner wanted to go ahead and take out the fluorescent fixture which was above and go ahead and put in LED light fixtures. We went ahead and made a essentially a fascia here, which is going to hang down about 3/4 of an inch, and laminated that with the same laminate that is, of course, out in the rest of the boat, which is a cherry laminate. And we're going to go ahead and put that up, and then you'll see a slight edge to that, which will really tie this into the rest of the boat, because the whole area in here is pretty much beige. There's really no color in here. So I'll show you what this looks like, what the original looks like here in the master head. You'll see that light fixture up there, it's a fluorescent light fixture. It's what came with the boat, and we went ahead and removed that, and we will be removing this one as well and put in 3 LED fixtures. It's just going to look a whole lot nicer, so and up to date. So just wanted to stop in and show you what we're working on.